Good day and welcome to our watercolor journey. Today we're going to do this experimental line and wash. The materials I used is phthalo blue yellow shade, Aureolin, Quinacridone Red, raw Sienna, Paynes grey the blue shade. The paper I used is potentate cold press 100% cotton. I only use one brush for Escoda Perla number 8 round. And the pens is the Winsor Newton 0.5 liner and the Pigma FB Pen. I started with a pencil drawing and using my liner brush. I sped up this part quite a bit, it's 4 times the normal speed. This is something that I really do not normally do, so today's painting is really very experimental, but I love to play around and see what can be created, what can be done, and sometimes things work, sometimes they don't, but I enjoyed the process. I hope you do too. So let's go for it and just have fun. As you can see, I tweaked some of the lines as I went along and just played a bit with a pen. And make sure that your pen is definitely waterproof, and when you're done with your sketch, make sure that you let it dry completely before you go in with your washes, because otherwise it will definitely bleed. I really played around with lines and different textures within each segment of this sketch. It's definitely up to you on how you do your own lines and do what you feel will be more interesting for yourself. The Pigma pen is really nice to use. It's got a soft tip and you can really make nice bold strokes with it. I really went all out with all the marks that I'm making. It's definitely not the way that I normally do it. I'm wetting the sky area. Just work around the buildings. And then I'm just going to do a straightforward wash with the phthalo blue yellow shade. It's a cool color, but it's also very vibrant. Your phthalos is really intense, and they are quite staining colors, so that's basically it for the sky area. So now when you're done with this, you let your painting dry. Now I'm just giving all my bushes and trees a yellow underlayer, and this will create a nice wet and wet environment. Now I'm starting to bring in my blue, and the blue and the yellow will create greens in that area. That's a nice thing about mixing colors on the paper itself. It fuses and creates its own wonderful effects. Now I'm using the Paynes blue for the bottom parts, and just to create shadows within all those bushes and trees. I'm also bringing in a little bit of a raw sienna, just to create variety and interest within the trees. Working with those different colors definitely brings in a bit more dimension in your painting. Play around with lighter and darker values to create that interest in the painting. And remember always the bushes as a darker part at the bottom, and also in between the different bushes and shrubs you always get shadows. I'm just dabbing out some of the color because it seems a little bit consistent as it spread, because the paint spread quite a bit throughout. Now I'm starting with a foreground, and the green is mixing in with the colors that I'm putting in the top area there, and I'm just trying to create an interesting foreground. So I'm mixing all the colors on the paper and some dry brush effects in between. That really helps to create texture in your painting. I'm splatting in some pigments and let them bleed and mix on that paper and just do their own wonderful things. I'm bringing in that Paynes grey in the foreground and really intensifying that colour there. And the area is still nice and wet, so everything will create nice soft edges. Just adding some more dark values within those bushes, because you can adjust as you go along. As long as your paper is still wet, you can play around. But if it started to dry up, it's better to leave it and wet it later on. Now let your painting dry. Now I'm just painting those little windows. I'm really creating random marks and leaving lighter and darker areas within the windows. And for that I only use Paynes grey. This buildings here in the middle area is my focal point in the painting, so I'm really going to make them lighter and make them brighter than the rest and let them stand out. So while some of the areas dry, when you paint on different sections, because I don't want the paints to bleed too much into each other at this point. That house is also in the background, so I'm also using cooler and lighter colors. The paints are really diluted there, and this house in the foreground I'm really intensifying with that yellow ochre. I think it creates a lot of interest if you use your cool colors against your warmer colors. I'm using stronger colors on this house, so that it stands in front of the house in the background. I'm just creating a shadow area on the left hand side there. Where the color started to bleed, because that roof area was still wet, and I think I really like the cooler color there. Just adding a few little details. I think we're almost done with this painting, and also just adding shadows and time to sign the painting. And I'm fiddling a little bit more and creating a few more shadows. And I think let's stop before we go too far. So please like, subscribe and comment for me. Thank you very much. See you next time.